So, we were just about to start today's episode, start filming. But what are we doing now, guys?
So basically, I was right here at my car trying to look for a part.
That's our guest back there. He's waiting. But go ahead.
I have my keys. I look down and my hand swivels out, and my keys launch off my seat to the bottom of this bullshit down here.
And now
Drop your phone.
And now Pennywise the clown has a new Xterra.
Dude,
all right, let's see how this goes.
Literally my hat. That's everything.
Your house is down there?
Yeah.
Wow, you're poorer than I thought. We should pay this guy better.
No, no.
Hell no. He should pay us for saving his ass. So, like tattooers, we have the mount of a critical power supply that's going to act as a magnet. We have 2-wire hangers, or as we call them, baby killers.
No, we can only shout out to critical if we could get it.
Yeah.
This is
It's critical.
It's critical.
That we retrieve these keys. All right, we'll check back in a few. Stop hitting me with that.
I hate you.
3 hours later.
We got the keys. Yes. 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 Yes.
Look, I got a hair clip for free. That's disgusting.
Oh my.
So Penny dumb.
Penny
That's
dumb?
him.
Penny dumb?
Penny.
No.
Dumb dollar. You say penny?
Dumb dollar.
We're rolling.
I'm still trying to think of nicknames. I'm gonna use the
Yeah,
one.
we're not done.
I think that dollar dumb.
Dumpster baby.
That was ridiculous.
All right.
You seem so defeated, Jake.
I feel exhilarated.
Dude, the wave of emotions is rad.
But you know what I was telling him? Like, I'm like, dude, like, you need to chill. Like, this is fixable. Like, this isn't,
Yeah.
like, literally, no matter, even if we had to call the fire department, this is nothing to beat yourself up over.
Was he already looking up new cars?
Yeah.
He was looking up how to drink the coolant that's already in your car. He was like,
Without keys?
And what did we learn today?
Don't drive.
Don't drive. Yeah.
Don't park
Just
it.
Uber.
Or that 9-Ice got you.
That's the that happens to me like regularly.
Yeah, that's that happens to Wheeze.
Wheeze?
You know?
Oh, Wheeze, yeah.
Who's Louise?
The buds. The tattoo buds. Thank you. That reminds me.
But
All right.
but it always works out at the end of the day,
Bud.
and I need to really sit and breathe because it always works out.
Rarely is anything unfixable.
Yeah, and sometimes when you think it didn't get fixed, just wait a little while.
Wait a little enough so you just don't care, or you care a little less.
And sometimes it turns out better than if it would have worked out.
Yeah, like sometimes you find Land Rover keys.
Right?
Yeah.
With a title.
A title? Some pinks? One time I went to Costco to get my Adderall prescription, and I got there. I was wearing sweatpants and I had my keys and they were pulling them down. So I hooked them onto the basket.
What could go wrong?
And then I realized I needed to update my Costco card. I had to pay for it again, the annual thing. So I just walked right up there and I left the basket with my keys. And I lost my... I literally went through every aisle and I was checking everybody's basket. And forever, I went to the lost and found, I was for like an hour. Then I find this one random dude, like the last place I didn't look, and he was just walking about with my keys on his basket.
Don't you always find your thing in the last place you look?
Yes, I was
Yeah,
thinking
yeah.
the same
I
thing.
was just being
So just
dramatic.
pick
Always the
yourself
last
up.
place you look.
It's always the last
No,
place you
I
look.
keep looking after I find it.
Because
That's why I
if you
said
kept,
that.
yeah, because if you kept looking, you'd be fucking.
You start soul searching.
And then another time, dude, it was like literally the next time I went to go get my Adderall again. I get it, and it's just in the basket, and then I get to the car. unload the rack of Diet Cokes for my girlfriend, and then I hop in the car and leave. And I was already all the way back home to Inglewood, and I was like, I left my medication in the basket.
Hey, how about we start taking the Adderall to go get
Before.
our Adderall?
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say, yeah, you wouldn't.
I got to stop waiting.
You wouldn't have lost focus if you wouldn't have ran out.
And
You
that's
know what I
exactly
mean?
what it was, dude. But thankfully, I called and I was like, hey, I lost my, and they were like, yep, somebody returned it.
Yeah, and they didn't even know they had a good prescription in there.
Yeah.
They knew you needed it though.
Yeah. That must have been that guy that just left.
With all the Diet Coke.
Skipping to my car.
Singing Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus all loud, just drumming on your steering wheel. All right, let's get into this. You guys ready? I have a question before we get started on tattoo stuff.
Okay.
All right, Randall,
Yes.
we'll take your answer first. If you had to eat the meals for the rest of your life, like either a baby cow from your mom's udder or a baby bird from your mother's mouth, which one would you pick?
Wait, how does this work?
For the rest of your life, your
That's
mom
how
either
you
has
have to
to
consume-
feed you
Oh.
through her udder, which would be a human udder is a nipple, or through her
Oh.
mouth, like a baby bird. So you got a baby cow or baby bird your mom for the rest of your
At
life.
this age?
This age.
That's
Rest of
funny.
your
That's
life.
a- that makes a world of difference.
It does.
At her
It does.
age. And also at her age. I hope she's alive. Shout out,
she
Mom.
is. She is.
Shout out, Mom. Your could feed the world. They beat cancer.
That's true. That's true.
That's it. Bird
I
mouth.
choose your mom.
You say bird
Bird
mouth
mouth.
Easily bird mouth.
because you're afraid of your mom's teeth.
Yeah.
Dude, just
You
the,
love your mom's teeth, so I know what you're going to pick.
Well, the apple didn't fall far from the tree.
Check this thing out.
It's like you're looking right at her, Mike. I don't know, dude. It's someone regurgitates, like spitting.
Like, my own bile is gross enough.
So you're gonna have your mom like,
Yeah, dude, I don't want to see your
If it's coming out of an udder, then it's been processed more than through
And
the
I'll
mouth.
probably get my nutrients.
but don't they regurgitate too? Like
But
the mom bird eats the food and then comes and
it
throws
comes
it up.
back up.
into
Yeah,
the-
it's got to be
Ooh.
So I
processed a
think
little
it's got to
bit.
be.
See, I kind of took it like if she was feeding me a bird
Okay.
from her mouth.
Wait, what?
Chicken.
So I might go because the regurgitation's a little.
That's crazy.
The regurgitation,
Okay.
you know.
Let's get rid of that. Pretend she's feeding you regular pizza through her or her mouth.
Hot dogs.
Hot dogs.
We don't have to worry about logistics.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever you want for dinner. It's just gonna come out of either her or her mouth. I think I'm still going cheese.
I'd go mouth. I'd go mouth.
I think I'd go mouth.
Yeah.
All right. Well, your mom's here to feed you something. Well, you got your mom to come out. Jake, what about you?
I don't like throw up, so
Going. I knew this guy was going.
Oh, he looks like a guy.
See, it's better than throw up.
That's what I think.
But like solid food from the mouth is better than.
what if she
Like,
had
right,
udders,
yeah.
though?
Actual udders.
You see, then it would be less weird, I think.
Yeah, like if it's your mom's actual udders. Oh, never mind.
See?
Yeah.
It makes it really dead.
It's so crazy. I don't know why I asked
Yeah,
this.
yeah. It's what's wrong with your
I'm
mom?
so comfortable right now.
She has udders.
Would you rather eat your mom out or suck your dad's dick?
Okay.
Oh.
Too far?
That's way too far.
Pizza's coming out of both. Does that help?
Pizza.
You get nutrients.
Yeah, but that's hot.
man.
Everyone's upset, but you're just turned on. That's why you made that face.
Dude, you ruined it.
Getting hungry.
All right. Sure, are we
Oh,
are we
fuck.
done with this question?
I don't know.
You just can't stop thinking about your mom's.
I get something about your mom's.
They're good. They are good. They beat cancer.
My mom beat cancer too.
Yeah?
Dude.
Hey, shout out.
Radioactive moms.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
oh yeah.
Let's hear it.
Let's hear it for our mom's tits.
All
She'll
right.
be so mad at this. Okay, I better stop.
I think that's it.
She don't even like when I say tits, let alone hers. Anyways,
Really?
yeah, I don't cuss in front of my parents. You know this?
You don't?
Mm-mm.
Like at all?
No, my mom will still try to slap me.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. If there's like a joke that I have to go after, maybe I'll never say like fuck in front of my parents. Like that would not be acceptable. Like my mom will take it as disrespect.
What am I saying? I know this.
Yeah.
When we went to
Yeah, and I told Goonies to stop
Big
cussing in
Bear?
front of my dad. That I was kidding about, but I don't.
we went to Big Bear and
I think it's disrespectful.
nobody knew how to drive in the snow. So we hired Sanai's dad to take us.
He's a truck driver.
So he literally dropped us off in Big Bear.
Yeah, my dad.
In a baby?
That doesn't mean he only drives a truck, Jake, because he's a trucker.
He's a truck driver, and that's it. That's his whole personality. It's all cold. Just in a
Yeah, as a forerunner. He dropped us off, but we weren't allowed to cuss.
No, that was a joke. You guys could cuss. I just don't, but my family is like very like, that's so disrespectful to them. But I don't even have to think about it. Like, it just turns off really in front of them.
Yeah, I guess I'm pretty good about not cussing in front of certain people. The
You
right
cuss in
people.
front of your moms?
I do, but we all cuss.
So your parents at least taught you how to code switch?
Yeah, how to not cuss in front of anybody. Like behind closed doors, man. It was freaking this and freaking that.
Do you cuss in front of your mom?
Yes.
Does your mom cuss?
Yep.
See,
And-
my parents don't cuss.
At all.
Mm-mm.
Like as a kid, you were able to cuss, like school and shit, or
Nah, it wasn't really like I wouldn't do it all the time, but
Yeah.
if I did, it wasn't like a big deal.
yeah.
You know, I wouldn't cuss in front of my grandma, but my
See,
mom
like,
and
I think
dad.
that's, like, good. Like, you still have to be able to teach your kids, like, sometimes this is not acceptable. So, like, you're getting that lesson at least, like, you got to stop it in front of your
Yeah,
elders. you
Yeah,
know?
and now I try not to cuss in front of kids, like young kids.
yeah.
Oh,
try not
I
to.
know. That I'm the
It's like,
worst about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
sorry.
when they're like teenagers, I'm like, fuck that.
I'm only
Like,
cussing
yeah,
at them.
Let's get you ready for the world.
How does she omit the
What?
kids? How do you omit the kids?
I don't have kids. I don't know.
What was his?
I got parents. I don't got kids.
What's his beef?
Oh, because I said that I'm the worst about cussing in front of kids. Like, I always forget I do cuss in front of kids. I'm always like, oh,
Like
sorry.
a toddler?
Yeah, fuck that baby. Since I don't have my own kids, I don't have really any maternal instinct. But I think that you shouldn't. I mean, the kids shouldn't know what fucking...
I mean, I have a nephew that just turned 5, and
But he cusses.
no, but he found a loophole. He makes it a point to let me know that I'm not allowed to say fuck.
Oh, I'm going to do that
So
to my
he'll
mom.
use it.
Not allowed to say ass. I'm not allowed to say shit. But he'll keep reminding me.
Just so he could say it. So I was raised super religious. So when I was little, I would, like, maybe in, like, 2nd grade, I started cussing at school because kids were cussing, and I'm like, this shit's fucking dope. So
I'm gonna do that one tomorrow.
I would cuss at school, but then when I would go to bed, I would pray for forgiveness for the bad words I said. I would be like, and please God forgive me for all the bad words I said today and all the bad words I'm about to say tomorrow. Because I knew that the next day I was going to be fucking it up again.
Fucking wrecking fools.
Yeah. All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Tattoo Budcast, the only podcast that feels like a tattoo session.
Minus the tattoo.
I'm Sanai Garcia.
And I am Jimmy Jam.
Today we have a very special guest. He's traveled hours and miles and saved Jake from losing his keys. He's a 16-year tattoo veteran. He tattoos at Hilltop Tattoo in 29 Palms. He is a master of mixing tattoo styles, art mediums, and body fluids.
And he was just named GQ's Most Interesting Man of the World for 2028. This is the first time that they've named one 3 years in advance, so it's a pretty big deal.
High hopes.
I give you the one and only Rando Baggins.
Let's hear it.
Let's hear it. louder for the dishes in the bag.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah,
Thanks
man.
for coming, and sorry that we got started so late.
Yeah, we would have been done by now.
We get started when we get started.
I hope you're able to drive home safely and not fall asleep.
I think he has to spend the night at your house tonight.
Or
because
you
it's
have
too
to
late.
drive him back home. And then bring him to get his car in the morning.
I'll stay at the base out there.
Yo, you're nasty. I know what you're trying to get into.
This is
Reporting for booty, I mean duty.
I think this is the first time we've had a guest come on after us calling them out during an episode.
What was it?
The Pokey episode?
You guys like flared up my schizophrenia.
Yeah.
I was watching it with my girlfriend. I'm like, oh shit. And then you like pointed. I was like, oh fuck. You know? my girlfriend was like, oh.
You're like,
oh
"Can I
shit.
get your name?" What did you guys say? I don't remember.
Was it Goonies that brought it up?
Yeah.
Or Pokey was talking about working with you?
Getting tattooed by me, and Goonies tattoos like a feather, and I fucking
That's what it
fucked
was,
Pokey,
yeah.
Fuck Pokey up.
We fucking worked it out, and we got fucking Rando Baggins in the
Rando
house.
Baggins, your artwork is fucking killer.
Thank
and
you.
you are the master of mixing styles and body fluids.
I want you to mix my fluids. Please.
With his fluid. What, Jake? Are you uncomfortable? So okay, you said you've been tattooing for 16 years.
Mhm.
Well, how old are you?
I'm 45 years old.
Holy
So
shit.
Gosh.
I started at 29 years old. I apprenticed at 28. I did my first tattoo at 29.
And that's why you live in 29 Palms.
It's kinda,
Whoa, the
kinda, and
synchronicities, huh?
my
Synchronicity.
lucky number is 62, right? And then I live on Highway 62 in
Holy
29, but I started at 29.
That's where you're supposed to be. Which means that you're retiring tattooing this year, right? That's all
Yeah.
you need to do.
I feel like I should. You know what I mean?
So you started
We don't
pretty
get-
late in life, huh?
I did, yeah. Before I tattooed, I did graphics for like 15 years.
Graphic
And-
design?
Yeah. I did graphics and painted for 15 years. And then I did drugs, you know? So,
Right on, brother.
yeah, I met, my mentor that way. And
drugs?
he was like, hey, I'm going to open a tattoo shop. When I do, you should come learn how to tattoo.
And he's like, we're going to figure this out together.
yeah. And originally I was like, oh man, I just wanted to learn it as a medium.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just to mess around. But I started apprenticing, I was mopping floors, and I was like, dude, this is kind of fucking rad, you know?
Yeah.
Tattooing was always, from what I remember, it was like secretive, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it was always, there was like a mystique to it. So it was cool just to be there, you know? Like I was looking around like, how the fuck do they do this? Or
Like you're in the club.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it was like sneaking around, like, what's that machine? How does that thing fucking work? You know?
Can I ask?
Well, I was that was way, you know,
Just mopping at this point.
mopping and scrubbing tubes and all that good stuff, and having a good time at the tattoo shop. And I was working full time.
What kind of stuff would you do as a graphic
At
artist?
that time, I was doing like showroom design and signs and logos and posters and
Wow.
shirts.
You worked for a company that had different clients?
Yeah, I worked for a company that had different clients, and we would like make stuff. People would come to us with ideas sometimes,
Yeah.
and I would do graphics for it, and then we'd come up with how to make the thing. And then we would make the thing and then do the showroom around the thing. And then
Did you like it, or were you like
I
bored?
did like it. It was fun. Like, cause a lot of hands-on like material stuff, you know what I mean? Like, so it was a lot of just learning how to make shit. But it was, I was like working long hours. And, at that time, sitting at a desk used to fuck my back up worse than tattooing. You
Oh,
know,
wow.
like, so for a while, I was like walking crooked, like I had scoliosis, you know what I mean? And I thought I was going to be like that forever. And
You're like, I need to get a job that's easier on the back.
well, I'd go to the doctor and they were like, "Oh, we got to do surgery. We got to do surgery." And I was like, "Fuck, man! Like my dad did surgery and it didn't work out well."
Fucked him out.
Yeah, and
Did you say fucked him out?
work out well.
Fucked him out. Fucked him out. I don't know why I said that. I meant fucked him up.
And
So surgery fucked your dad out.
it fucked him up. So I was like, "Nah, I'm just gonna be crippled forever," you know. So I'd go work long hours doing that. I'd go do the graphics and I'd go drive to like a showroom out in the valley and install the stuff. And I'd have to like lay down on the ground and like stretch out because I couldn't stand up.
Like
So,
in the middle of your like
in the
the
middle
job?
of doing it, yeah. And people would be like,
Hold
"Are
on
you
one
all right?"
second.
Yeah, they'd be like,
I'm gonna take a nap.
"They'd be like, are you all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, man." Like,
All part of the process.
yeah, it's all part of the process, you know. Well, once I started apprenticing, I was doing that full time, and then I would go apprentice at night. So I'd get to the shop
man.
at like 4 or 5 in the afternoon. We'd work till like 3, 4 in the morning. You know
Talk
what I
about
mean?
fucking breaking your back, dude.
And then it was like, hey, at the end of the night, because we'd party too, you know. At the end of the night, it was like, hey, take me to Walmart. And we'd go fucking walk around Walmart for an hour. And then I would drive.
back when it was 24 hours.
Yeah. And then I'd drive from Pico to Long Beach. You know what I mean?
Fuck.
Nodding out.
Yeah.
And then I'd get up the next morning, pop some pills, drink some coffee, shoot to work, and do
And
it all
lay
over
down.
again. Yeah.
Lay
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
lay down with my clients. We're like, so what kind of work again?
I did that for 5 years, man. And then one year on my birthday, I was like, I'm going to quit doing graphics. And I fucking did. And I never looked back.
And at that point, you
Fuck.
were already tattooing,
Yeah, I
but
was.
just as a side thing.
No, I was tattooing full time. At that time, I'd work 7 days a week. Once I got to where I could do tattoos, my mentor would split when I'd get there. And he's like, hey, you're
Take over.
take over. So I was the
Damn.
night shift. You know what I mean? In Pico Rivera, you know, so.
This was no regrets.
Yeah. I worked there 7 years, and then I went to Old Town.
Yeah.
Old Town to Oklahoma for 2.
Yeah.
And then Oklahoma to where I'm at, and I've been there ever since.
How long have you been at the shop that you're at now?
It's been almost 6 years. Oklahoma was cool and all, but anytime I'd get extra money, I'd fly home.
Come back home.
Yeah, so I was like, dude, I might as well just move back to California, you know, but I didn't want to live in a city anymore.
But now you're like the best of both worlds. Like, yeah, you could be in a big city if you want, right?
Nah, like driving here today, like I was off the freeway and I'm like, fuck, man, everybody's moving so fast, you know? like, damn,
oh,
you know?
you little country man.
Yeah, I drive, like when we went to the thing, I'm like, dude, why is the driveway so close to the corner? You know what I mean? I'm just used to slow now, you know?
And you prefer it that way?
I do, man. Like, I'm prone to like fucking, you know, pessimism and anxiety and shit. So I like to keep it easy, man. Like, life's hard enough.
Just trim the fat of life.
Yeah, and it's still hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I still find plenty to complain about, but
Dude, if you ever want to complain, dude, come hang out with me and Sinai.
yeah,
We love complaining. We love talking shit.
We love to talk shit.
And we love eating like shit.
And we love forgetting things.
And forgetting things.
oh yeah,
And helping friends get their keys out of
And
the
help
gutter.
Out of the
us
gutter.
get those balls.
Yeah, we're like, she's the key master.
the key,
Key shot. They call me little
Little key shot.
the gatekeeper.
Keeper. Keisha Cole. So what style? I know this is like such a broad question for you, but what style would you say you do? Because you mix a lot.
I'm a street shop tattooer, so I
Do it
kind of
all,
do
baby.
what they want, you know. If I have a choice, like if somebody brings me something, I'll kind of try to turn it to how I would want to do it, but stay within the lines of what they want. So they
Yeah.
bring me something that looks realistic, black and gray, I'm going to do it realistic. If they bring something with lines, like black and gray lines, I'm going to try to go a little more traditional or a
Yeah.
little more like East LA, you know what I mean? Depending on the subject matter. And then if they bring something color, I straight tell them I'm doing it traditional.
Yeah.
Like it's got to have black.
First impression I had of him, we had
That was
a...
bad.
No, it was very great.
Oh, okay.
This isn't the guy I was talking about.
I'm right here.
We were hosting an art show at what was the pizza place? Rose City
City.
Pizza.
Yeah.
The piece that he provided. Did I say that right? I'm not paying
The
attention.
pizza he provided?
The piece that he provided was fucking crazy. The
Um,
kitchen
Oh, the
magician.
pizza?
Oh yeah,
He
the kitchen
submitted.
with the swinging the fucking pizza with the devils on his shoulders.
Yeah, I remember you you dropped it off at the shop, and when you left, we were like, "What the fuck, dude? Like this thing is crazy." It was so rad.
Thank you. Yeah,
But it was just done in such a way. It's like nobody's, especially all the traditional people that I knew, like they weren't kind of producing shit like that.
when I was brought in by a black and gray guy. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I was taught black and gray, and I wanted to do traditional. I hadn't even really seen any traditional,
Yeah.
but I knew that tattoos looked a certain way. But where like we grew up, tattoos didn't look like that.
No,
like
no,
I
no.
didn't see any color tattoos, or
Yeah.
it was all black and gray. At that time, Pico Rivera, it was
Yeah.
rare. I picked up traditional from Pokey and Omar. Like,
Yeah.
working with them, like they kind of showed me a little bit, and then they showed me how to paint flash. You know what I mean? Because the guy that taught me, he painted and stuff, but he didn't paint. He painted like signs and did pencil drawings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's a great artist, but he didn't do really flash.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man, your fucking style's insane. I don't know if this is still a secret,
What?
but I remember getting this follow from this one tattoo artist back in the day,
Who? Say the name.
and it was a fucking mystery to me for years. And I noticed he was like following a bunch of people, and I was like, "Hey, do you guys know who this fucking wonk dog?
Wonk dog. Yeah.
Wonk dog is?" I think it was like a year or two later I found out it was him. He created a second Instagram page. I don't know if we could talk about this.
To roast myself.
To roast himself.
Yeah, he'd basically start shit with myself and talk crap to myself,
So you were online bullying yourself.
I was bullying myself. Yeah, like, oh, dude, your shit sucks and all this. But I did it because people would ask me, like, hey, dude, who's Wonk Dog? I'm like, I don't know, man, but I'm going to catch that fool fucking slipping, And
But it was like another, you made it like it looked like another tattoo artist, right?
Yeah.
And it was like a specific style, so you couldn't really tell that it was
Yeah.
him.
What?
It was
Why?
super stripped down. It was just for fun.
Just
like,
funny.
I used to do graffiti. So graffiti, it was the raddest part of graffiti for me was nobody knew who anybody was.
And that's kind of the culture.
So yeah, I was like, dude, it's rad. So I
Oh.
missed that. And I was like, dude, I'm gonna create this guy.
And he's gonna be a dick.
And he's gonna do, and the idea was to do a tattoo style that was kind of traditional, but kind of like real stripped down and weird and kind of wonky, and get people to get it. You know what I mean? But nobody's gonna come to me for that stuff if they know I do. You know what I mean? It was like, oh well, it's like people think if you do all sorts of stuff that you're fake at it.
Yeah,
so you wanted
know
it to
that's
create a
true.
You know what I mean?
specialty.
Yeah, so it's like I'm gonna create this alter ego and fucking try to specialize in this super stripped down style that I could get through fast.
I want
And
to
it's
alter
fun.
ego.
I remember I was like,
Keyshot.
that's fucking key shot. Yeah.
Keysha.
Key shots. Don't get me started on key shots.
Thanks for joining the conversation,
Finally.
bud.
Woo!
Keyshot, and it's gonna be a really thick dagger line.
I can't do that to myself. So
I
I'm
gotta
just
take a shit.
I'm just gonna create 5 pages just to compliment me
Oh, but isn't
because
that funny
I
though?
hate negativity.
All of a
Oh,
sudden,
man.
the only thing he doesn't complain about is himself.
But fucking
Fuck.
dude,
That's
I was
hilarious.
blown away. It was like, you're
Yeah.
fucking kidding me. It's him.
I
It was him the whole time.
so I knew the friend was dating a younger guy that she met online, and like you could see on their Facebook page like them writing to each other and like leaving on each other's wall and shit. Well, one day my friend happened to like go to move the computer from the living room and saw it was the talking to herself. She was like catfishing herself so people would think she was dating this younger guy.
So she was the younger guy.
Yeah, and she was like she would post stuff like, for instance, there was like she had posted this picture that my friend said looked totally set up. It was like a bra on the floor next to like a weed pipe, next to a spilled bottle of like champagne or whatever. And then like the caption said like about last night. And then the younger guy's like, oh yeah, it was so fun last night, babe, blah, 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 blah. And then my friend happened to move her computer one day. It came to life and she realized she's logged into that younger guy's page and the guy was fake. She was like Which they had been
Whoa.
telling her, like, are you sure this guy's real? Like, he's so young, he's so hot. Like, but they never thought, like, oh, she's behind.
Yeah, and they
Why
see
would you?
and
Yeah,
they
why
see
would
her
you?
bra on his page, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's her bra."
No, I think she just was acting like she was wilder than she is.
Well, what was her bra like?
And when she takes selfies, there was a turd in the toilet.
No. I'm
Oh
talking.
my god, that's so funny. Have you seen that?
Oh, I love that. Or the kid in the back. Whoa.
Oh my gosh, I know. Or the kid taking the picture.
Yeah.
Like they're in front of a mirror and you could see like they're making their kid take sexy pictures.
Have you seen the video of the guy where it's like it looks like he's holding himself like this with like a complete sleeve, but it's somebody else's arm because he doesn't have tattoos?
Fuck.
Let's do that to Jake. But my arms, they're all small. So have you were you always into art, like even as a kid? And
I'm like a, for lack of a better term, fucking art nerd,
how young were you? Like,
I can't remember a time I didn't draw. My mom always tells a story like I had a pencil as soon as I could hold one. I was drawing, and I was one of those kids, like I wouldn't go outside and play, and I'd draw. You know what I mean? Like I'd just sit and draw and draw and draw.
dude, I just thought of a really cool tattoo.
What?
A pencil behind your ear, or that looks like it's behind, like
I've
you're
seen
holding
that
it in your
before.
ear. Okay,
You know who?
fuck me then.
One of our old coworkers wanted to get that.
No, he wanted a pookie.
Yeah.
A straw.
Yeah.
Uh,
So your mom said that you.
I drew forever. I did graffiti as a young adolescent, like at 6th grade. I was.
What were you writing at that age?
At that time, it was Shag, FTL. Fuck the law.
Oh, sick
Yeah.
asshole.
How does one create their name? Are they given? Is it a given
Well,
name?
he hadn't shagged.
Nah,
That's what I'm getting at. Were you bad?
in that time, I made it up. I was fucking a kid.
He was really into Shaggies. It wasn't me.
Scooby-Doo?
That was what was
Oh.
No, the song wasn't me.
Before then, my grandma at her house, because she'd babysit me, she had a hamster cage made out of plexiglass, and I caught a scribe in it at my grandma's house, and I wrote the gang. There was a gang in the neighborhood right there, and that's the graffiti I saw. So I was like, this is what you're supposed to write. So I put like, fuck. You know what I mean? On my grandma's fucking hamster cage.
Hold on. I love that. I love that you didn't cuss in front of your grandma, but you were fucking gangbanging.
I didn't think I was gonna get.
You were ganging up at her house.
I wasn't smart, so I didn't think I was gonna get caught. You know what I mean?
No. So
Who else could have done it? I think it was the hamster.
yeah.
Yeah, you
He
better
picked
watch
up
him.
his will.
Oh, and my mom beat my ass. You know
Oh,
what I
I
mean?
bet.
She's like, "You're in a gang." I'm like,
I wish.
"It's a gang."
Wait a minute.
Wait, you're like,
Yeah.
more about this game.
Yeah, I'm like, "What?" Yeah, and then
That
I
is so
did
cute.
graffiti all the way through high school, and then went to jail for it a few times.
Yeah.
How'd your mom
Yeah.
feel about that?
She would come pick me up drunk. You know what I mean, from jail, because
She would be drunk?
First 2 times I got caught, I was a minor. So she'd come pick me up, and second time I got hit with a hate crime because it was a Bible store.
Oh
and
my god.
we didn't know. And my buddy at the time, he wrote Lucifer 666. You know what I mean? Because that's what you write.
It was just a coincidence.
But he would shorten it. It was short. It was like Lucy or something like that. And
Lucy 6.
and then he'd tag it out, Lucifer 666. And we ended up getting busted. The guys I went up on the roof with were slow, so I finished mine. I was
Those
like, "Fuck,
slow
bro."
motherfuckers, dude.
No,
fuck,
dude.
bro. Yeah.
I know, me too.
Yes, they
And so you
busted us.
got rolled because your friends couldn't.
Yeah, they were slow, and somebody was in the building, and I was sitting on the edge, like waiting, and they came out, and I was like, "Oh man, don't mind us. We're just up here drinking beers, like we're leaving right now."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like 15 years old, and
all good.
yeah. Well, I'm like, "Hey guys, we need to get the fuck out of here," So we drop down off the roof, and then cops roll from every direction. Boop.
Oh.
Let the dogs loose on us.
No.
Yeah, let the dogs
man.
loose.
That is so scary.
My homie jumped on the side of a fucking street sweeper and rode away.
That's fucking sick.
Those
It
things
was
move
rad.
slow too.
Yeah, he was-
Yeah, he just got on the side. I don't know how he did it.
They're all walking
but
alongside of it. They're like, "Sir,
his parents didn't pick him up. You know what I mean?
fuck,
Um,
dude."
Damn.
But in a way, like getting busted for graffiti, it saved my life. Like
Yeah.
my family, they were all the males were truck drivers. You know, so as a kid, I'd grow up on the road. During summer, I'd spend all summer on the road. So I always thought, I'm going to be a truck driver. Well,
Yeah.
when I got busted for graffiti, they took my license before I even had it till I was 21.
Oh, yeah.
fuck.
So
I've always heard
Look
about
at
that,
you.
and I always thought my mom was like lying.
I got busted the first time 15. I couldn't get it till I was 21. So I was like,
Damn.
dude, I'm not going to, drive a truck. So I ended up getting into graphics.
There
which-
goes the family business.
yeah, there goes a family business. But I lied and said that I had an associate's degree, and I got my first graphics job that way.
They didn't check.
No, I knew Photoshop and Illustrator. Like I took a couple classes and I went and I had a little portfolio and they hired me, dude.
Do
And
they
then-
check these things?
I
Because
don't
I'm
know.
always like, well, I mean, I haven't had a regular job in years and years, but I would be like, yep, I graduated high school. I didn't.
Yeah, I don't.
Spoiler alert, didn't.
I think
Me too.
in tattooing, if you didn't graduate, it's like automatic status. You know what I mean? It's like, here, this guy's a real one.
That top dog.
yeah.
Yeah. You graduated early.
You're hired.
Okay, show off.
Yeah.
Yeah, my first real job was graphic design work, and
Yeah.
I didn't take classes or anything like that. It was just
Yeah.
all taught
How
myself,
did you guys teach yourselves? Just fucking around?
fucking around.
Staying up too late on the computer?
That's how. Well, okay. Well,
Your dick was raw and you had to
like the
find something
the-
else to do on the computer?
Yes. I was trying to make my own porn. No, like for web design, like like it's all coding. If you go onto a website, you could see what the code is to make that page. I used to just go through it and change numbers around and see what it did.
Damn, I
And
already
words,
lost interest. I
words
can't
and
believe
shit
we
like
locked
that.
in
And that's
like
that's how
that.
I learned web design, but graphic
Tricky.
design, a matter of just fucking with Photoshop.
Getting good at graphics is like you watch trends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you learn how things are put together. So it's like, they use these fonts, these colors,
Yeah.
these types. And with tattooing, I use that. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
I
like,
apply it
dude,
the same way.
yeah, I'm like, it's just this needle size, these
Yeah.
colors, like, you know what I mean? So it's just a technical thing.
You break it down.
I
to,
break it
yeah,
down. It's like, I'll do that with a 3. I'll do that with a fucking 9.
the color palette, everything,
Uh-huh.
like your
But-
swatches.
Yeah, now I own 5 colors, and that's
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, those are the colors I use. Like,
That's what you're gonna get.
yeah, I'm like, you want pink, dude? I'll put a little bit of red. You know what I mean? Just glare it out. But I recently started. I actually just bought pink and blue.
Whoa.
Big timer.
blue.
I know. 16 years in.
Yeah. Well, I used to tattoo with all the colors, but then I was like, you know what, man? Like, I'm gonna make it easy because I get fucking stressed out. So I'm like, I'm gonna do 4 colors, 5 colors. I'm not even gonna tell them. And at the end, hopefully, it's a nice enough tattoo to where they're like, this is exactly what I wanted. Because they
Yeah.
don't know what they want. Shit, we don't even know what we want.
Yeah.
And we do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know what the fuck I want.
You know what I always like is like, have you ever been following an artist for a long time, or like you go far back on their page and you see the phases they've gone through, like
Yeah.
a whole
Yeah.
color palette for like a year or two, and then all of a sudden it completely changes, but they're all like grouped together,
Yeah.
like
I was thinking about that recently because I had to go through my feed to the very beginning for some reason.
because you couldn't sleep.
Yeah, I was just bored. But I was like, man, I should probably
I've done that in a while.
trim the fat on
I
my
should probably do that, too.
profile because there's some shit in there. It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
You're like, who did that?
Or yeah, I can't believe I did that.
We're all sad now. Should we take a break and do that?
Fuck it. It's just tattoos. You know what I mean?
I know, it's just
It's just
forever.
tattoos. Well, it's only 10 days after they die.
It's true.
I'm just kidding.
Dude, I've straight up stopped being friends with people that I've tattooed so I don't have to see the tattoos I did on.
Oh man, if I tattoo somebody and every time I see them, I just fucking eyeball it.
That's so depressing.
That is depressing.
We were bad.
It's a hard, but you gotta do it. You gotta go
do.
through
Yeah.
that. You gotta
Yeah.
find your own style.
And it's just an us thing. It's still the same tattoo that they were stoked about when they first got it.
Yeah.
And they might
And they
very
still
well
are.
still be
Yeah.
stoked about.
They are.
It's just a personal like. Oh,
It's because we know what we want it to look like.
yeah.
You know, and they just like it for what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, man, tattoos are folk art. They're not supposed to be perfect. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like,
Oh, I like that.
put it
Tattoos
in
are
clean.
full
They
part.
are. You know, half them, half us. Like, you could
Yeah.
do the best tattoo if they don't take care of it. It's, you know.
And
it's
what's
both-
the other
both.
option? Digging your heels in. I'm gonna do this style for the rest of
Yeah.
my life.
Oh, man.
So I never get better.
Yeah, and
And-
that's where you plateau and you don't evolve.
Well, and is that fun at all? Like that
No.
strips the fun out of part
Yeah.
of the fun of tattooing is learning, you know,
Yeah.
all the little secrets and all the little things, you know,
Yeah.
like
I
tattooing's
know-
rad.
I know of an artist that like it was clear that he learned in the 90s and he's still there.
Still there. Yeah.
Still there. But that's where he's cool being.
Yeah.
And I'm
To
sure
each
his
their own.
clients
Yeah.
are stoked on what they
Yeah.
give him. Yeah.
He has
Mhm.
solid
To each
clientele.
their own, I guess.
Yeah.
Solid clientele, and you know he's getting like they're stoked.
Shit, man, I'm trying to make my tattoos look like they're from the 40s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Trying to do my
Like
grandpa's
they were
tats.
done in the 40s.
You know what I mean?
He's like, I want them to look like they were done in the 40s and be unlegible.
He just uses a mag
Yeah.
like, across the
Oh,
skin.
man. I tried to teach myself when I was 19 years old how to tattoo, man.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't know that there was a liner and a shader.
Mm.
And so I wanted to line something fat, and I was like, "Oh, it was a mag." It's like, "Oh, this is the fat needle," you know. So I put it on, and I lined this fucking thing right here with a mag, you know. And I was
Are
like,
you
"Dude,
Still there.
yeah, dude, that thing's
That probably
19
hurt,
or
like-
25 years old, you know."
Was that the first tattoo you ever did, or?
Nah, the first tattoo I ever did is a giant doodle on my leg right here. It's
Like a
literally
magna doodle?
fucking doodle. Like if you sat and just I literally sat on my mom's couch.
So it was just needle to skin. Let's
needle to
figure out
skin.
what we're doing.
I didn't know that you put patterns on. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, dude, tattooers they draw everything
Patterns.
like patterns.
He-
Like
he-
let's
he learned it-
fucking
he
go
learned in
for
He
it.
Pico.
learned in Pico.
Yeah,
Calling
I'm
them
like,
patterns.
well, oh, yeah.
Patterns.
Yeah, what are they, stencils?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Hey, fool, I got my own pattern.
Yeah. Fucking how dumb.
So then you carved into your leg like
Yeah,
it was a fucking hamster cage.
Yeah, did a little doodle on my mom's couch, you know what I mean? And it's literally just fucking a doodle. It's like a contour drawing of all these weird fucking psychedelic faces, you know what I mean?
Like all one piece or
One
just things
piece.
here and there?
One big, it's like that big. You
Like
just-
psychedelic shit with like faces and faces and
yeah,
all that.
faces
I
within
used
faces
to
within
love drawing
faces.
that shit when I was
Oh,
younger.
Yeah.
Dude.
Did you ever like just get your pen and like scribble something and then try to make it into
Yeah.
something
Yep.
else like
Yeah,
motherboard?
that's like a game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the line game.
Yeah.
We do it all the time on tour.
The
in-
Lion Game. You said it like it has an official name.
That's what it's called.
Is it? Or do
I don't
you
know.
guys just call
That's what I
that?
call it. But yeah,
The Lion Game
it started-
regulations.
a quick little scribble, hand it over to somebody else. They turn it into something,
Uh-huh.
and it's fucking
It's fucking fun.
yeah.
You know, you try to stump your friend and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, this motherfucker's good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Wow. This
Yeah.
can be
Yeah.
anything.
I don't know what to
Yeah.
do with that cone.
right?
Traffic. Now you draw all the traffic.
Yeah. Yeah, it's rad, man.
Me and Goonies played the line game on Susie, our merch girl.
With the tattoo machine?
Not straight to skin. We did it
Ah.
like it was on paper.
Nah, I want to go straight needle
I'm
to
down.
skin. Jake sent me. he doesn't even know how to set up.
I do.
I do.
I do.
Do you really?
No.
But we have to do it on you is the thing. Well, what are we going to do it on?
On your hand.
Dude, a neck blast.
If you don't let us do it, your keys are going back down that storm drain. Hide the magnet.
I remember when I reached out to you, I was like, hey, do you want any drinks? You were like, no, I'm sober now. How long has it been?
It's been a little over 4 years.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Congratulations. How long has it been for you, bud?
It has been 7 years. And dude, I can't imagine what it would be like if I was still drinking.
Oh my God, I can't imagine what it would be like if you were still
We
drinking.
probably wouldn't have the shop for sure.
We probably wouldn't have the shop. We probably wouldn't have a podcast.
I would probably be in the gutter with Jake's keys.
Doing bumps.
With Jake.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. How
you
did?
guys take it away.
Yeah. How did it happen? Or what?
Well, it's a long thing. Like the first, it took years for me to actually stop everything.
Yeah.
Because I was like I was a dumpster. It was like a normal day for me. Like when I was working tattooing and apprenticing, it's like I'd wake up, I'd fucking take Norcos because they would wake me up.
Jesus Christ.
And I would drink coffee on my way to work. And I'd get to work and I'd fucking be wired all day. And then I'd get off, I'd smoke a joint, I'd go to the tattoo shop, and then I would fucking I would drink every night a fucking bottle of Seagrams,
Holy
and then
shit.
with Sprite. Like I'd get a large Sprite from the spot
What is
next
Seagram's,
door.
Jim?
It's
whiskey.
like Canadian whiskey.
Oh.
Yeah.
7 and 7s, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I'd drink those all night. And I'd continue popping pills, you know what I mean, throughout the whole day.
Yeah.
And keep smoking weed. Once I got off the design job, I'd smoke weed because I couldn't smell like it. But tattooing and pico, that's how you did it.
Yeah. And
You
this
smell like
this is-
weed, like
This is before edibles.
yeah, people don't trust you if you don't. You know what I mean? So, and then I'd drive home and I'd do
Nice.
that, and then on the weekends I'd do all that, and then I'd snort blow or fucking smoke some shit or whatever, and it was like a cycle, constant. Xanax to go to sleep. You know what I mean?
That's quite the
Fucking
cocktail.
knock myself out.
So you're
And
just
then-
functioning.
Functioning. I was taught.
Yeah.
I come from a family that does that. So I was taught to function. So to me, it was all normal.
That's crazy, man.
And then the coke started getting a little out of hand, and then the drinking, I would drink till I would throw up and black out. And then
Every time you would drink.
every time I would drink, if I didn't do that, then I was fucking like Tyrannosaurus Rex on coke and fucking shit. You know what I mean? Talking, people would walk away. I'd still be like, ooh, fucking
Whipping your tail around.
Yeah, dude. I just want to be a dinosaur, Oh, fuck, dude. Fridays I'd spend, once I quit the full-time job.
Yeah.
Halfway
Then
through
it was
Fridays, I would
on,
snort
probably.
coke
Huh?
all day.
Yeah. Some
and-
shops just kind of paint the perfect setting for that.
Well,
Well, I
I was taught you could do whatever you want as long as nobody knows. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I liked doing that. Like I was
Did
like,
what I
oh,
wanted.
Yeah, I'm like, this is cool, And then drinking fucking promethazine. You know what I mean? And
fuck, dude.
so
He was a rapper.
dude, drinking the
Leaning's pretty tight,
promethazine,
though.
and the promethazine was early on. Like, I started partying when I was like 14,
Yeah.
and then I didn't stop. It just escalated, and then at about 36, I started being like, fuck. Like my wife at the time was like, hey, bro, like you've thrown up in your sleep way too many times. Like
Oh my
it's
God.
you
You're
know,
lucky you didn't
and
drown.
Is it like a daily thing?
nah, drinking was
Yeah.
every day. Coke was just on the weekends.
It's like I'm
but,
not an animal.
but pills every day, all day. Weed every day, all day. I look back and I'm like, I would start getting drunk and then I'd be like, oh, I need some Coke so I don't feel drunk. And then so I would snort some Coke so I didn't feel drunk. And then
I'm
I'd
not
get
drunk
high.
enough.
And then I'd be all, fuck, man, I'm all spun out. I need to drink. You know what I mean? So I was like trying to find middle. I was trying to find sober.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Turns out it was just needing to
Yeah.
be sober.
And I would do all the Coke till it was gone. I'd go through the fucking carpet, you know what I mean? And look for pebbles. And then when I was out,
Dude, the
when I was
carpet.
out, I'd eat a fucking Xanny bar and knock myself out, get up in the morning, eat
Narco
some
dime.
fucking Norcos, and do it all over again. You know
And
what
so
I mean?
I imagine you were obviously picking up these pills like off whoever on the street.
Oh, I would trade, I
The
would
bartering
trade.
as a
yeah,
tattooer.
I would trade.
glad
I always had friends.
Glad
And
you got out before the
family.
fentanyl fucking
yeah, me too.
craze, dude.
Me too. I used to get fucking morphine from my mom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the pills were never a thing. It was never hard to get pills back then. Now, I don't know what it's like, because I quit doing Coke. Coke, it's been probably 10 years.
Yeah.
And then Coke. From Coke, I stopped drinking. And that was like 2 years later. And then I was just doing Xanax and fucking, and Norcos and smoking weed.
Yeah.
And then I started getting off the pills, and I used to carry a Xanax in my pocket, dude. Like when I wouldn't I stopped taking them, but it was like, I'd start to get all fucking weird because it's like, I didn't know how to live life anymore. You know what I mean? Like it was like fucking learning how to breathe or walk, you know what I mean? So I would like literally rub the Xanax in my pocket to give myself comfort. Like, hey bro, it gets too bad. I'll fucking eat this thing right now. You know what I mean? Or snort it, cause that's better.
So like knowing
it is.
That's more better.
It's quick. And then, so I did that. And then, when I moved out to the desert, I just smoked weed. And then COVID happened and we were shut down for a while, and I would just smoke myself fucking insane, watching TV, and I started getting all paranoid, and I was like, fuck, like anybody was coming to the desert to steal my shit, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, ooh, okay. But I started getting like that. And then growing up, all my heroes were drug addicts. You know what I mean? And all my heroes were fucking wastoids, and I thought that was the cool thing.
Wastoid, dude. I love that term.
my buddy, a good friend of mine, Woody, was the first person I met where I was like, this dude is bad as fuck. He's cool as fuck, and he's sober. Like, what the fuck,
Oh, yeah?
So it like planted a seed, like, hey, you can be cool and be sober.
Was he a tattooer or just...
No, he's not a tattooer. He's just a fucking rad dude. But he knows a lot of tattooers, and he'd been tattooed, and he's kind of part of the Long Beach scene.
Just the
like,
culture.
Yeah.
And we used to ride bikes together, and then he became like my next door neighbor, and it was rad, dude. Just a fucking bad, cool dude. Beat the shit out of people. You know what I mean? Just a rad dude, like it's honest and cool and fucking, So he planted the seed, but I kept partying. And then where I'm at now, the owner of the shop, he's sober, and he's cool as fuck, and he's done all the things, and he was a wastoid too, you know what I mean? And he got sober.
The new graph name.
Like, I was like, oh, okay, like you could be cool. Like, this guy's functioning, he's living life, he's doing things, like, like I could see it's hard for him, but he's doing it, and like I respect that, you know what I mean? Like, and then I saw he would do AA meetings and stuff, like on Zoom. And so at first I'd watch in the back, I'd be all this fucking shit. Like, you guys talking about your feelings, like, and then like
and
I
then
started,
he was all invested with the tear.
I started relating.
She is a mother.
I was like, hey man, I'm like one of you guys. You know what I mean? So I started doing that, and I did that for a little while, you know what I mean? And then I've been sober ever since that, but
what's that like, man? The fucking adjustment, especially being in the tattoo shop. Like,
did you do the 12 steps or did you?
Yeah, I did 12 steps. I still I still do them.
Awesome.
I try to, like I'm not, I don't do the things like probably like I should, you know what I mean? I've got my own I'm always wrestling with anything that's good for me. You know what I mean? Like if it's good for me, it's like, it doesn't belong.
That word should puts a lot of makes you do or not want to do a lot of things. Once you start looking at it like should, you're like, man, like a little badass kid.
I'm stubborn and I'm prideful and I fucking got a giant ego and I'm fucking too cool for school and I know everything. You know what I mean? So like, I'm going to do it on my own, but doing it on your own, you're fucking writing like this. You know what I mean? But sometimes that's fun too. You know what I mean? Until it's not.
Did you
take a look at James's knuckles? He just did it on his own.
Yeah.
Did you disassociate when you decided
Well, no, I kind of already was.
Oh, you were already pulling
I was
away
already,
from...
I was in the desert.
Yeah.
I didn't have friends out there, just the guys I worked with, you know what I mean? And they weren't partying like that. So that made it easy. And then having us the guy I work with, he made it easy. Cause I was like, dude, he kind of gave me support. He got me started.
Yeah.
And, he set a really good example, and then, I got a sponsor who was my buddy Woody, you know what I mean? And talk to him. And
you said that you're the owner of the shop you're at now was a big influence on you, right? Good influence. Did he come to you like with the, hey man, you should try this, or did he wait for you to come to him?
No, he just kind of did the thing, and I saw the thing, and I went, I was
Went
like,
for the thing.
I went for the thing, and then he helped me get started with the thing. He sets a good example, so it keeps me doing the thing. And then now my life has changed 180, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some of the worst parts are I feel everything, but some of the
It's-
best parts are I feel everything.
That's the hardest thing,
I
dude.
like that
And
saying.
it's like living is real now. It's like
Yeah.
I take life to the face. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
fucking
take life to the face.
I'm grateful that it happened when it did, like when I became sober.
Mhm.
Like, it wasn't until like a couple years after that where like large things were happening to my life that were like, fuck, if there's any time I'm going to relapse, it's going to be right now.
Yeah.
But as it was happening, it was like, I didn't even fucking think about it. It was just like, I'm just, working on everything that's happening,
Uh-huh.
losing family member, my dad and everything. And I was like, man, like, and I remember a lot of my friends and family, they were all concerned, like, fuck, like, is this going to be what
Sends
makes
it back.
Yeah. And it wasn't even a fucking thought in my mind by that time.
Yeah, you get through it, and
Yeah.
then it solidifies that, hey, this is better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I lost my dad when I was sober, and my
Yeah.
wife, and all kinds of stuff happened to me. You know what I mean? And it's like it took all the things away.
Yeah.
Or all the things got taken away from me, and now I feel like I have everything. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mm.
I don't have the people, but I have the memories, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just part of life, and every day is a new fucking ride, Like
Yeah.
some days I wake up and I'm like, it's a shit show, and I fucking this and fuck that, and I'm a pile of shit, and fuck, the whole thing, the wave, and then it's like, okay, you know what to do, motherfucker. Like, you need to chill the fuck out, you need to do
Yeah.
your things. Get on the right track and go to work and make some fucking tattoos. No, the world don't care what the fuck you're going through.
Yeah.
It's like it moves on, dude, and you could move with it, or you can fucking let it roll you over and be a fucking wasteoid, If that works for you, that's fine, you know what I mean? But it didn't work for me. I thought it did, but now looking back, in retrospect, I'm like 4 years old now. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah. You're starting your life.
I don't know how to deal with things.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Can you expand upon that? Because you had mentioned that a little earlier before
like
cameras.
Things happen, and I'll have a natural way of reacting, and my natural way of reacting is a little overboard because I'm used to being numb. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I got to like catch myself and be like, hey, what is it that's bothering you about this? And a lot of times it's my own fucking ego, or it's something that's not real. You know what I mean?
That's rad that you're able to do that shit on yourself. Like, did you see a therapist or anything like that?
Nah,
That sound like you're using your tools subconsciously.
I picked a lot of that stuff up in the program. You know what I mean? Like, working steps, talking to my sponsors, stuff like that, So, if I don't reflect on the things, I obsess. My natural state is obsession. You know what I mean? Whether good or bad, and if I get a thought in my head and I obsess about it, it spirals, and it turns into something this small will turn into a fucking huge thing to where I'm ready to like sell everything and run. You know what I mean? And it's like,
avoidance.
It's like their tone was just weird. You know what I mean? Like, you're ready to throw your whole life away because you thought all this shit happened that didn't. You know what I mean? And it's like, they were just having a bad day. It has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's the catastrophic thinking, dude, that I've fallen victim to.
Yeah.
A lot.
Uh-huh. So it's a ride. And part of it, it used to like be like scary, and it used to like really fucking, I didn't know how to deal with anything. I used to get real fucking wound up. Now I'm like, fuck it, man. Like, it's all part of the ride. Enjoy it. You know what I mean? Just fucking buy the ticket, do the thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
man, it sounded like you adapted pretty smoothly from the lifestyle before into how you are now.
It's every day. Like, talk to me tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
my-
I fucking disappeared for like a year, dude. I didn't go out. Like I rarely went out, and I just fucking put all of my energy into work. And I started working on the shop that we were at, and I fucking found myself every spare minute working on something, whether it be Flash, whether it be building flash racks in the shop, doing all this shit.
You take your obsession for numbness and you put it towards something productive, you know? I go through long spits of time where I'll wake up, literally as soon as I wake up, I'll start painting Flash. And I get them done in like 2 hours, you know what I mean? And then I go to work and I tattoo. And I just do the things and I put them in a box. And it's like, it's not even for tattooing really. It's like to get through anxiety. Therapy. You know what I mean? At that time, I was still living with my wife, and she would wake up and, she was a sweetheart, but she'd start her shit, you know what I mean? Right away. And so I had to distract myself. Well, she started getting up a little later. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to get up at sunrise. Because if you get to see the sunrise, it's a beautiful way to start a day. If you can watch it rise and watch it come down,
I haven't done
that's
that in a
good
long
day.
time.
Like you learn to appreciate the smallest things. And when you can appreciate the smallest things, man, you're surrounded by fucking magic. Everything's magical. You know what I mean?
Clip that.
I love that.
But then one little thing will happen,
You
and
fucking
then you'll
drop
spiral,
your keys in the gutter,
and then it's all shit again. You know what I mean? And then you're like, okay, I got to do the work, and I got to do the things. I need to pray, and I need to fucking talk and to somebody, and I need to apologize, and what is it that fucking is sending me in this, or you know what I mean? Like, and all that. It's exhausting, but fuck, man, like trying to make your life better. What else you got to do with your time?
Yeah,
I know.
What I mean? Like,
and
really?
better this than the lifestyle before.
I can't answer this, but I feel like I treat people better. Like I have better relationships with people. Like I try to apologize when I'm wrong. You know what I mean? If I can catch it, because I am still a fucking idiot. You know what I mean?
We're all human.
Yeah,
at the end of the day,
I'm dumb as fuck. And I'm 4 years old. You know what I mean? So
it's crazy how the older well, I guess not for everyone, but like the older you get, or the more, I don't know, maybe healing you do, how it's easier to apologize, huh? Like how you just want to dig your heels in.
Before I had too much pride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's almost like if I say sorry, that's admitting I'm wrong, which means it's admitting I'm flawed, which means what, that everyone's gonna leave? Like what is it? Like
my issue was like being wrong about something, or like needing to apologize. It's like that was like the end of the world. I felt like it was like a disappointment, which was worse than being wrong about something. And I realized like there's nothing wrong with being wrong.
Right.
No, it's human.
Everybody's wrong. Everybody is wrong at some point in their life, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That was the hardest thing for me to accept, is that's okay.
It is. And you notice you do those things and you learn to treat people better, and guess what? People treat you better.
Yeah.
And
or I used to, when I was younger, like it was a thing of like, I acted that way because you did this.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to apologize because you made the first move.
Yeah.
But it's something as simple as, like you said, they could have just had a bad day. And,
their tone of voice was weird. Yeah. And I read it wrong.
Yeah. And it's a bad habit in my family. We're the queens of that shit. And I carried that into just in this relationship now. Did I finally learn I have to stop the fake mind, or the what I think is mind reading, like, oh, you want to be short with me? You want to be short with me? Well, then fuck you too.
Yeah.
Now we are fighting.
Yeah.
Chino XL.
Fuck you too. I don't even know why I'm on this track.
But yeah, that was the environment that I grew up with. I mean, I had 3 older sisters, and all they did was fight all the time. And it was like, well, you said this, and it was like, you said it this way, and it was just kind of like
fighting and screaming and lying and fucking trying to get one over on each other. And
Are you an only child?
No, I have an older sister, but I come from a family of addicts, and functioning addicts. So it was like doing the thing, and then I'd be asked if they did the thing, and I'm like, I'm not gonna rat, so I get my ass beat or whatever. And it was like I was responsible somehow for, you know what I mean? And that became the norm. You know what I mean? That was the norm. And just constant fucking fighting because nobody would take responsibility for what they did or see their side. Because everything, no matter what, there's always two sides, man. Like,
3 sides.
yeah. Yeah.
Because the Lord.
What wonk dog?
What would Wonk Dog do?
Oh man.
The thinking you could control somebody else's reactions and emotions, or people expecting your actions to mitigate their reactions and emotions, is total codependency.
Oh.
And
You're
I
deciding
had
what
did
other
the-
people feel.
And your world is chaos at that point.
And
You have no
I
control.
had done codependence, the Codependency Anonymous meetings,
Al-Anon.
and
Yeah.
that shit's like, what? This is not like, you don't have to live this way. You know?
I've got all the things I have to do that too. You know,
Yeah.
I read books every fucking morning about that shit. Like, you know, like,
that
hey,
shit
I'm not
runs deep.
responsible for that shit. You know what I mean, I'm not responsible for how you feel. Like, you know,
Just
I'm
the
not
whole feeling
responsible
of-
for none of your shit. You know, my shit's heavy enough. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, I need to change my diaper. You know what I mean? Like, like
You-
it's heavy enough.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
You wear diapers?
No. That shit's real.
Yeah.
You know, codependency, you'll give yourself to something and miss your entire life trying to fix
Waste.
or help or, you know,
Kind of hang on
control.
to something.
It turns out that you're trying to control the situation
Yeah.
Know
And
what I
and
mean?
really it's for your own comfort, but you're
Uh-huh.
thinking you're doing it for
for
someone
somebody
else.
else.
And
Yeah.
you could have been conditioned for it. It may
Yeah.
not be your complete fault, but like walking on eggshells is never for anyone's benefit but your own. And oftentimes it's causing more of a upset in the
Oh, yeah.
ecosystem.
Oh, yeah. Now it's like, you know, I'm around shit. I'm like, I keep my mouth fucking shut. And my shit. You want
Yeah,
help? Come ask me, dude. You don't?
Yeah.
Ride that wave.
Man, that's fucking rad. You've done a lot of growing since I've last seen you.
Why? What was he doing last time?
He was just shorter.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm talking about the physical sense.
Yeah.
You're like a wizard.
Uh,
I've heard multiple people call you a wizard before.
like
Really?
a-
What's that? Why is that?
He's just
Magical?
It's like magical. Yeah, kind of in that sense.
ooh.
Fuck,
That's
dude.
awesome, though.
Yeah, you made it.
Now I'm fucking I'm on the road. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm taking the
Making it.
trip. I bought the ticket.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I'm
you're
taking
about
the
to be
ride.
5.
I'll be 5 next March.
So, what do you guys think? Because it's not like this has happened in a vacuum. Like, you guys aren't the only tattoo artists that fell victim or fell, into addiction or
Yeah.
whatever. It happens so often. And I know so many tattooers that either currently are having, struggling
Yeah,
or they're on the other side of the struggle. Like, what do you think it is about the,
industry.
I don't know. Is it industry? Is it
The culture.
Yeah.
Is it just being art nerds? Like, I mean, because
I
we
think
do have a
so.
tendency to want to try. I mean, even the people that don't have a problem per se
Yeah.
have tried all the drugs and, like,
yeah,
so, like, is it just being art nerds?
I
and
think
We're
it might have a tie to like the artist
More
mind.
open-
We're sensitive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That I
And
was
the
gonna bring that up.
tougher a tattooer acts, the more sensitive they are.
My girlfriend told me that one time.
Sensitive.
She was like, all artists are extremely sensitive.
Uh-huh.
Like, because I've done.
And he said, shut up, bitch.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
He said, ow.
Yeah.
No, because I had a lot of trouble like controlling my anger, and it was like the smallest thing turned into the biggest thing, and it was like I don't want to get into that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was one of the things she said. She's like, I've noticed that all artists are extremely sensitive.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, yeah, and all you are what, perfect?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, yeah, I mean, that's true. But somebody told me this person was a musician, but I had met them when I was in the hospital on a 72-hour hold. But they had said, but artists don't like to feel better. And I'm like, what do you mean? And they were like, we fetishize our sadness. That's what makes you
Yeah.
creative. And I'm like, that made me stop and think, like, do I fetishize my sadness or like,
I think that might be more of a musician thing than
Maybe.
a physical art thing.
Yeah.
But I could see how that could work. Well, no, maybe not, because there's some artists where it's like, fuck, man, they are painting with their emotions. They are fucking hurting.
Writers.
writers.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's all art at the end of the day.
Bukowski, he was, he fucking was a painful motherfucker, but
Yeah.
he was,
His shit was
it was like,
dark.
what's the line? Some people never go crazy. What boring lives they must live. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's like,
maybe painters, we don't so much, maybe it's not so much our sadness as it is a tool of disassociation.
Yeah, an escape.
Like, an
Escape.
escape. Maybe escaping from the sadness, or even something as simple as another task that we should be doing, like
Yeah.
taxes.
Yeah.
Like, oh, now I was going to do my taxes today, but now I have this great idea for a drawing or something.
Yeah. Maybe it's,
Escapism.
we escape, and we can't always escape through painting or drawing or music or writing or tattooing or fucking running or
Yeah.
whatever it is people do. So we do drugs.
So then,
Yeah.
come the drug. And then
Drugs-
you're in the perfect environment for it because there's so much downtime in a tattoo shop.
It's a lot of freedom.
It's part of the thing in some places.
When you're at a shop that has shop hours, you're not going to be tattooing for all 10 of those hours or whatever.
No.
If you're in the right spot, you are.
There you
know
go.
what I mean?
And then it becomes, let's unwind with the beer. Oh,
Yeah.
now my buddy's coming
I
through
need to
and
turn
he's
it
got
off.
more than a beer.
Yeah.
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 He's got nose beers.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it's a then this person, and then you have the shop flies that come through. You were just there to work
Yeah.
that day. Now this guy came in with the 30 pack.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
the fucker that just shows up
Yeah.
with a case of beer.
He works a regular 9 to 5.
Uh-huh.
He just
Yeah.
got off and he came through with
And
six-
You piggyback their fucking.
And for some reason, people look up to tattooers like they're fucking rock stars. So
Yeah.
everybody's like, here, dude, here's some
Yeah.
stuff. You're like, thank you. You know what I mean?
the shop
like,
becomes
yeah.
a clubhouse.
Being sober now, like, I see that there's a lot of tattooers that are sober, and a lot of them
Yeah.
are fucking rippers. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
that obsession goes to work.
What was the thing that you said about feeling?
The worst part about, or the best part about being sober is that I feel everything, and the worst part about being sober is that I feel everything.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Like,
That's like so deep.
yeah, and I think I started to notice that when, I was at that point a couple years into being sober. I moved out by myself, and that was so fucking scary to me. To be
Yeah, you
alone
did
with
not
my
take
thoughts.
that well.
I did not. I found any reason to not be home. I only went home to sleep, and that fucking first apartment that I had by myself was quite depressing.
Yeah.
It was just like, dude, this is fucking. So I started to notice that I started to feel things a little bit more.
Mhm.
And I don't know if it was like the clarity of, not having all of the fucking toxicity of all the things I was putting in my body, and everything. But I noticed now, for example, I watched Cobra Kai. Have you seen Cobra Kai, the series?
No, but I could probably
Dude,
jump on board with you here.
It's fucking cheesy. But there is like some
Is it like a feel-good series?
kind of, there's,
It's got its
the,
ups and downs.
yeah, it's a lot of
Just like
intensity, a
life.
lot
Yeah,
of,
just like life. It's all waves.
yeah,
bro.
rivalry, growing, personal growth and all this shit. And then like
The real JoJo? In here.
Miyagi-Do.
Uh,
But by the end of it, dude, it fucking made me cry. And that's nothing that I ever experienced growing up. I watched a lot of, sad, all kinds of shit. Like my parents didn't really care what we watched. And
Yeah, they had to look cussing all around that house.
but I started to notice that, like, there's certain things that I see on TV or even in life where it's just like, holy shit, I'm feeling these things now. Now, is this because I am not like fucking numb from, everything else? Or have I grown? Or like, is it just something that happens to people in life? But your boy be crying when there's some fucking...
But your bitch be crying.
hey, man.
Shut up! But even weirder than that, it's not like the sad stories. It's the inspirational
Yes.
things.
Yes, if somebody gets what they want at the end of a movie,
Yeah.
oh my, or like if someone belts out a song, I'm like,
Fuck.
Yeah. Or they worked hard, or like they went through all these things and then they still got to the,
Yes, the
triumph.
journey,
Now, I'm unable to cry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I am unable to cry, but crying is good for people that can.
Well, okay, so that's what I'm
is what I've heard.
Yeah, so I've
for
heard.
bitches that
I like
can.
to see. Yeah, I like to see these
Dude,
F words cry.
So I had went down this rabbit hole of police dogs getting their last call on the radio.
Oh my
Have you guys
God.
seen any of those?
Yes.
Oh my God.
And they're the cutest thing. And I was crying, and I don't really
Yeah.
cry a lot either. And I had told my shrink about it, and she was like, maybe at that point you needed to cry, because
Yeah.
I'm very childish. Like, I don't cry a lot. And then when I do cry, I'm like, you fucking idiot. You cried in front of them, And so
It's weak.
I know
It
it's
is
not.
weakness. I'm just kidding.
It's weakness leaving the body.
Yeah.
But I know logically it's not. But I think I've just been conditioned because I came from the go to your room till you're done crying house. Like, my mom
Yeah.
didn't put up with
Mhm.
that shit, So I think that's just ingrained in me. But my therapist was like, maybe you just needed to cry. And she's like, there's nothing wrong with if you're having a hard time crying about your life and you need to. There's nothing wrong with watching a movie to pretty much bust that cry nut.
To let it out.
Yeah.
Cry
Right now.
like a cronut.
To
It's a
bust
hardcore band. The Cronuts.
Cronuts.
to shoot that eye load.
Fuck.
Because it is easier for me to cry to dumb shit like that than
Yeah.
to cry about whatever's I'm hung up on in my current
Yeah.
circumstance, The only time I cry for my own reasons is if I'm so fucking mad. There's nowhere for that shit
Yeah.
to go.
Yeah.
Anger can bring tears out in a
Yeah.
man like James.
Yeah.
Sorry, Joshua, but if we're having a really big fight and I really feel like you are not fucking understanding me, that will make me go
It's
to...
more
Yeah, like
frustration.
frustration.
Yeah.
The first time I noticed that happen to me was the Olympic award ceremony. It was just such a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
dude.
fucking spent their entire life trying to get this
To get there.
to get there,
To
and it
get
happens, and they're
there.
getting, and you see them break down, and it's just like fuck.
You know what I had to literally do breathing exercises through? The Little
100
Mermaid remake.
I was just gonna say 101 Dalmatians.
Close. Let them
My-
remake that. That just fucking struck a childhood chord.
My
or something.
first crush was Ursula from The Little Mermaid, the bad lady.
Ooh.
I was like, when I was a kid, I was like, oh, dude, like,
Hey, she fine.
yeah.
GW.
She thick.
What's up with that purple?
What else have tentacles do, girl?
Yeah, I was young as fuck, but I was like, something about the titties.
And isn't she modeled after Divine, the drag queen?
Is she? I'm just kidding.
I was always curious, what?
I didn't even know it at that time. I didn't even know. It was just like she was like,
Just
I don't
it
know,
was that
bad
angry.
or
You needed a
mean or
dominatrix, is
something.
what you needed.
It was like, I was like, ah, dude, something about her.
That's divine.
That's a party. Oh yeah, no, I wasn't. I see no resemblance.
yeah.
So you never cry?
I haven't shed a tear since I was a baby. My mom said I came out of the womb fucking full horns.
Yeah.
The
know what I
doctor
mean?
smacked her ass and you smacked him back.
Drop
You said
that
no.
fucker. You know what I mean?
Drop that
I walked out of the room. You know what I mean?
with your
Nah,
first cigarette.
I got her from here.
Nah, I do.
But not
It's-
over Cobra Kai.
Nah, happy things. I cry over like happy things or things I
Yeah.
feel overwhelmingly grateful for.
Yeah.
Or you know what I mean? Like pain doesn't really do it for me. Pain is like just part of life.
Yeah.
know what I
You're
mean?
talking about like emotional or
Inspiration.
physical.
Yeah, pain is inspiration. And you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
pain
Fetishizing
is
yourself?
where I feel normal.
It's
Happiness-
familiar.
Happiness is like
It's a new feeling.
It's like and truly happy or grateful. Like
yeah.
seeing the
Grateful.
things in your life or being able to relate with things that you see. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And being like, fuck, man, like that's
That's
great.
beautiful.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's great. You know,
Yeah.
my dad died. I didn't cry. And he was my fucking hero. I didn't
Yeah.
cry. I feel guilty that I didn't. You know what I mean? I'm like, dude,
No.
what the fuck is wrong with me?
No, yeah.
You know what I mean? But-
There's
You shouldn't shame yourself for your emotions.
yeah.
It's just another layer of dumping on.
Yeah, dude, fucking shame and guilt will kill you, man.
It's like a disease.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of alcoholism and drug addiction. It comes from something. A lot of it comes from that. We forget, like, especially when you get sober, you forget the reason that you started, and you think that you started because it was fun.
Yeah.
No, you were doing it because you wanted to fit in. And then after a while, that stopped working. Like, it stopped being fun. And then why did you do it?
Yeah.
To cope. You know
To
what I
cope,
mean?
yeah.
And then survive. You know what I mean? So it's like, and then that for me was a longer stretch of coping and survival than fun.
I got a late start into drinking. It wasn't until I turned 18.
Yeah.
But I had a history of epilepsy. And so I was like, I don't want to fuck with that shit. And then like 18 was a pretty rough year. And then it was also the time in my life where, like, I was so fucking stoked to be in my circle of friends. Like, all we did was hang out, and it was just like, all right, I'm gonna give it a go.
Yeah.
And
I want to be a part of it.
And it turned into fucking my house being the party house every night of the week.
Yeah.
I fucking took my dad's wheelbarrow and I would put logs of wood in there, and that would be the fire pit until the legs caught on fire, and he was very upset about it.
Yeah.
You're like, what could go wrong?
But my mom was like she was cool about it. Like, she knew I shouldn't be drinking, especially with my medical
But
condition.
she would rather you do it in
But
the
she would
house.
rather me do it in the house, and it even got to the point where she would collect from all my friends so she could make us a huge pot of menudo.
Rad.
To try and help sober up everybody before they left.
Yeah, dude, she was doing what she could.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's great.
It was one Easter, man. I'm sure my mom will never forget this. And it was the night before Easter, and I fucking drank.
Sat on the Easter bunny.
I killed the Easter bunny. I slept with the Easter bunny.
You hid all his huevos in your mouth.
I ended up staying up all night drinking on the porch with some friends, and then we ran out of booze. My friend across the street was like, "Oh, my dad has a wine cabinet," so we went over there.
Oh.
Went over there at fucking like 4 or 5 a.m. Stole a couple of bottles of wine, fucking pounded them, and we went inside at like 7. And by that point I was like fucking just about blacked out, and I threw up red wine all over the bathroom, dude. Not even in the toilet. I never even made it in the toilet. The fucking walls, the shower, the sink, fucking everywhere. It looked like a fucking crime scene.
Oh yeah, dude.
And you couldn't even help her clean it up.
No fucking way. And I was so fucked up that entire Easter. I slept.
And then it's a vicious cycle because you wake up, you feel like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
There goes the shame.
Yeah.
You're going to cover that up later with something else because
Yeah.
you don't feel like looking your mom in the face. So I'm just going to go out with my friends and do this again.
I do not miss that shit one bit.
It's fun.
Drink to that.
I used to think it was like I was a hero or something.
Yeah. Who got
for
the most
being
fucked up?
Yeah. It was like, dude, like I puked. What'd you pussies do? You know what I mean? Like you
Your
fucking
shirt's all full of throw up.
fucking gave up. Well, my thing was I either would throw up in my sleep or I would go into the bathroom and put my head on the toilet and throw up on the floor.
Oh my God. Fucking
That was my thing. It was either in
just
bed
use it as like a
asleep
pillow.
or on the floor.
I like how it's your thing. Like
It was the
it's his
thing.
niche.
You know?
It's what he's good at.
Yeah. It made sense at the time.
Kind of want to go to the bar.
But
Oh my gosh, this is bringing up all kinds of fun memories for you guys. No way.
No, not enough.
It just sounds like it.
There was a lot of funny times, a lot of funny things that happened, and a lot of good times. But
imagine how many funny things you don't even remember. You
Yeah.
didn't even get to remember.
like traveling, dude, fucking, I've been touring since I was like fucking 16.
Rad, dude.
And so now, like, as a sober person, it's like I'm doing it all for the first time.
Mhm.
I'm appreciating the things that I never got to appreciate before.
You're like hiding from the characters at Disneyland because you're scared. You didn't remember them being so big.
Oh my God. But like going to Europe, dude, I went there a couple times and everybody's like, what was it like? And I was just like, I could tell you what all the bars were like, dude. Like, and I was fucked up the whole time. Like,
Yeah.
and like the first time I went, like the band had to have a little intervention with me like halfway through because they're like, you're like too fucked up every day. And it's affecting how you're performing, everything. And I was just like, I don't fucking care, dude. I just wanted to drink.
Yeah.
It did nothing.
Maybe for like all your milestone sober birthdays, you should visit one place that you shat away. Like, because how long have you been sober?
7 years.
Well, you have some catching up to do, but like for your 10-year, make it a big Europe trip.
Yeah.
And spoil yourself.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we made it.
Yeah. Well, today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
One day at a time.
Yeah, I'm not in bed yet. You know what I mean? A lot can change in a couple minutes.
And if Jake drops his keys one more fucking
time.
time. All right. Well, I think it's about time that we get into this tattoo cover-up segment because this one might be a little bit literal and not able to be covered up. The tattoo cover-up segment is the part of the show that we have our guests prepare a story. The story is something that they are either embarrassed of, something regrettable, something scandalous, something dirty.
Yeah.
What else?
Naughty.
Naughty.
We haven't really asked her guess about naughty stories.
No, we got some written in the early days, but we haven't gotten any in a long time.
We're going to start shooting for naughty from now on.
Yeah. Are you going to tell a naughty story?
I could.
I'm not telling a naughty story.
I could.
I'm not. Okay. But anyways, so Rando, go ahead and take it away.
I could do naughty or regrettable. Our literal cover up. It's something but can't be covered up.
That sounds sad.
Not long ago. Not too long ago.
In a galaxy that is here.
In a life that is still on this earth, you know. A guy that I'd been tattooing, man, has great tattoos, you know, like fucking great stuff from like Uzi and all these rad tattooers. He came walking in, right? And I tattooed him a few times. I did his hand. Real cool dude. And one time he's like, "Hey man, I want to do my knuckles." I'm like, "Okay, you know, what do you want to do?" He's like, "Oh, I'm a musician and I want to put halftime because like halftime is like, I guess when the story changes or something changes, right? Like
it's when a song like slows down, like or there's half the amount of like snare hits.
He was kind of using it as a metaphor to his life because he was, you know, he was slowing down. He wasn't partying anymore. And
that's cool.
Stuff like this, right? So I'm like, rad, dude. Like, fucking, we're gonna draw that on, you know. So I go and I draw it on, do some like pike writing, you know.
So freehanded onto the knuckles?
Yeah, straight onto the fucking thing. And I wrote it, you know. Drilled him in there with a fucking shader, you know what I mean? Open 9, I opened up a 9, like, just put him in there nice, you know
You're
what
not
I mean?
even gonna need a touch-up on this.
Yeah, I'm like, they're not going anywhere, you know? And I got through, the way it worked was I got through half first, right?
Yeah.
And I did the H, and I cleaned it, and I realized that the F was an E. So it said hail.
So wait, did you just extend the bottom of the pike F too far?
Well, yeah, but I drew it on like that because we were talking, and I'm fucking dyslexic, like I'm artard, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm like fucking.
That's better.
I'm not like it's, you know,
well, because it's also distracting when you're looking at design and you're not thinking about fucking grammar and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
and I'm like, you know, go check it out, you know, and he missed it. I missed it. So
that's his bad.
It said health.
It said hail. Hale.
Oh,
right?
shit. Yeah.
So I finished the first hand and like, I'm like, all right, motherfucker, play this cool, you know, like,
yeah.
I'm like, I put the machine down, I cleaned it up, and I like got on my phone, and I started like looking for words, like, what can we turn this into? Like, I'm gonna go solution before we make this fucking into something, right?
Yeah.
So I'm looking for words, and he's like, "What's up, man?" I'm like, "I fucking misspelled half, dude."
Look, I'm gonna shoot it to you straight.
Yeah, that time
Fucked you up.
I'm like, and I did it good, like the best knuckles I've ever done. You know what I mean?
You're like,
And-
yeah, I got some good news and I got
Yeah.
some bad news.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, this fucking machine is running killer.
You were
You know what I
like,
mean?
I have a question. How do you feel about him?
Well, yeah, it was like,
Oh my god.
so he was cool. He's like, oh man, don't worry about it. I'm like, nah, dude, we're gonna fucking find a solution.
I'm worried.
He's like, nah, just leave. And I'm like, nah, let me try to think of a way to like fix it,
Yeah.
And I was like, I ain't fixed. Like, how can I turn? He's like,
You're like trying to calm him down and then saying all your intrusive
Yeah.
thoughts. I ain't fixing
But
shit.
out loud.
Yeah.
yeah, but I was trying to come to a consensus of how to fix it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So I started looking for words. What can we turn this word into? What can we this? Well, I came across this word, hail, HALE.
Free from defect.
Free from defect and disease, which, he was sober.
He looked good.
And he was
It says also retaining exceptional health and vigor.
yeah, and he was getting healthy, and it was like the second part of his life was dedicated to slowing down.
Yeah.
Feeling better, doing better for himself and his family, and working hard. And so I
Yeah.
was like, bro,
This was meant to be.
this is it. And
Hey,
he's like,
hey, you're welcome.
yeah. He's like,
Gaslight.
I'm like, I'm doing time. I'm writing time on there, dude. We're just finishing the tat. You know what I mean? And we did, man. And he was fucking stoked, and I was stoked, and we were like, man, what a ride. You know what I mean? Because it was emotion. It was like, oh, dude, I just ruined this guy's fucking life. You know what I mean? And I can't fix it. I can't fucking fix it. You know what I mean?
Dude.
And he's here, and he put trust in me and all this, and I
Yeah.
just fucked him up.
And then the shame monster
And
sets
and I'm
in.
fucking dumb as fuck, and like how did I miss that? You know what I mean? And it worked out, and we were both at the end. We're like, dude, that was fucking rad. Like that was rad. Like that was a wave. You know what I mean? That was rad as fuck.
I
And
would have fucking shit my pants.
now I see him. He's like, what? Fucking hail time. I'm
Hail
like, hail
time.
time for sure.
Hail
you know
time
what I
for
mean?
sure, bruh.
And he went home, and he told his wife, and he didn't tell his wife that it
What
got
happened?
fucked up.
Yeah.
He just was like, hey, this, and she's like, that's so cool and all this. And
Oh
he's like,
man,
he's like, yeah, dude, fucking. I'm like, see, dude,
that was
fucking
your
knew, yeah.
subconscious, dude. That
Well,
was
I was
intuition.
I knew what he really wanted. You know what I mean?
That was God, baby.
Yeah, that was fucking. It worked. It worked out good, and I've tattooed him since, and he's fucking cool as fuck.
So just to clarify, you did hail and you hadn't done time
Time.
yet.
I hadn't
So
done-
you were thinking maybe you could turn this into a
And
different word
yeah,
where
make
it's like
like hallelujah or fucking
hail.
Haley's Comet, or come up with something. I was like,
Hail
I'll
rock-
even do the bottoms.
Hail rock and roll.
Yeah, you know what I mean. We're doing it graffiti style, misspelled on purpose. You know what I mean?
Because who wants to conform?
Yeah, right. Fucking punk rock, man. Fucking punk
And
rock.
then he looks it up and it means conform. He's like, actually,
Yeah.
Haley's Comet.
Yeah, fuck, and it fucking worked out, and he was stoked, and it was one of those things like, fuck, dude, like 4 years ago, I'd have melted down.
You would have killed him.
Yeah, I'd have been like, hey, bro, you don't need that finger, dude. You don't need that thing. It's your pinky, dude.
It's like the littlest. Oh no,
It just gets
that
in the
means you
way.
would've- It wasn't even his pinky because that means you would have touched it. Like this.
Yeah, it was like his fucking.
You would have cut off the wrong finger.
It was, and then like I was sitting there, I was like, that was literally the first line I did on the tattoo was the thing, and I was like, hell yeah, dude, that went in good, and
You were like,
And
hey,
then-
hail yeah.
yeah,
Hell yeah.
hell yeah,
That's what was one of the options. Of what you're-
Hail yeah.
Oh man,
Oh my god,
dude, I wish I would have thought of that one.
What about like? Have you ever been like? They're like, oh, I want this, the hearts to be, I don't know, blue or something. And you're like, so not red. You sure you want blue? So not red. Not
And
red.
then
What do
you
you
do
do?
it.
You dip into your red, and you're like,
hmm You guys ever colored the wrong part of like a nautical star?
Yes, on my dad. It's like when I first started tattooing, I was like, fuck. But he didn't care. I was obviously,
Yeah.
I've only done it. I have, but I caught it. So then I'm like, now it's going to look beveled. Like now all the white sides are going to have
Yeah.
a little bit of shading at the bottom.
That's
but
when you choose a light source.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're like,
all
I'm
of
a
a
tip
sudden.
shade. You know what I mean? Like, it's fancier.
But I remember when I fucking misspelled a tattoo. I think I talked about it on this show, and I wanted to fucking die, dude. I remember like I started drinking immediately. I was
Yeah,
just
it'll do that to you.
This is the fucking worst day of my life.
Yeah, you can't sleep. You know what I mean?
See, we're such like egomaniacs tattooers. It's the worst day of my life.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
just
They fucking they
Yeah.
got fucked up.
But like you do automatically
Yeah.
feel your asshole or your stomach fall out your fucking asshole.
Yeah.
And what? You feel your asshole?
You fill your asshole up with shit.
But it's true, like, because you do
Yeah.
care.
Yeah, it's our livelihood, and
It's that.
we put a lot into it, and you know what I mean, like
And then there's ego.
ego, you know, which tattooers have the hugest egos, man.
Yeah.
They do. Even the
know.
ones that don't.
Oh, they just hide it better.
They hide it
They're
better.
just, you know, they're deeper into it. You
Yeah.
know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? It's like, all right, you fucking.
I think
faker.
that's what makes me better than most people.
Or what about the fucking asshole? That was good. What about the assholes that talk about how they have no ego? And you're like, that's your fucking
That's your
ego.
ego.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of
Or
those.
like,
Yeah.
to stay humble.
Yeah, it's like, so you don't do any of your own designs? You don't like try to talk them into anything?
Yeah.
Come on,
Or
man.
or if you're putting hashtag stay humble, I got some bad news,
Yeah.
buddy.
Yeah,
Not very
not
humble.
humble.
So, let these fine people know where they can find you.
Find me at Hilltop Tattoo in sunny 29 Palms, Wednesday through Sunday, by appointment or by chance. Once a month, I'll go to Port City and Santa Ana.
So you will take appointments out this way once a month if you
Once a month. But sometimes I don't, you know.
Yeah.
It's always a Monday.
Such a
It always has to be
tattooer
a
thing.
Monday.
once
Yeah.
a month, but sometimes they
Yeah.
don't.
Once a month, sometimes. 60% of the time, it's sometimes.
Every time.
But yeah, I'm a Hilltop full time. I started doing Santa Ana because you know, I tattooed out here forever, and I have clients out here. And
Yeah.
they can't all make it out there.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, like I said, me and Goonies have been talking about going out to get tattooed by you, but it's like, man, that's far.
But don't shoot down his sales. You're like, it's far.
Trust me, you don't want to go to him.
Yeah. He's just trying to take your clientele.
I've had
Scrape off
people,
the top.
I've had people come from like El Paso, Texas, and get tattooed and then drive back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking Colorado, they'll come from Pendleton all the time. Fucking rad.
It's
Like,
From like for little old me.
Yeah, that's a cool feeling as a tattoo.
it is.
I know. Ego.
Ego, dude. There it is.
It makes me want to like give them something special.
Exactly, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, you know what, man?
I don't.
It makes me think about doing it, but I don't.
I'm gonna make
It
sure
makes me
this
double
is
check the
spelled
spelling.
right. Yeah, yeah.
Do you have any conventions or travel dates coming up?
I do not.
Do you have any merch?
I have shirts sometimes. Sometimes
like his
I'll
guest
sell
spots.
paintings.
Just like his
Sometimes I'll-
regular guest
Yeah,
spots.
sometimes I'll do stuff. Sometimes I won't.
When you sell your when you sell your paintings and your merch, is that just stuff they can find on your IG?
Yeah, I'll usually post it on my story for a day, and then I let that go, and then it's gone. I get
And how
rid
can they book with Wonk Dog?
of- Good luck.
What's your Instagram handle?
Rando Tattooer.
And is that where you do all your booking?
I do booking. Shit, any way you can find me. You can do it. At the
Jesus
shop.
Christ!
You could do it on my IG, Rando Tattooer. Just hit those DMs. If you got my number, text me. If you know my email, randobaggins@gmail.com.
Any other ways? You
Hit
got a
that up,
beeper?
too. The batteries are dead. Tail time.
All right, bud. Let's do our sign off
All right.
because we're running out of time.
Hit it.
Well, you guys know where you can already find me and James by now. I'm at Sanai_Kawaii on Instagram.
And I am at I am Jimmy Jam.
Please like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. It would help all three of us out greatly. And
Don't forget to follow Rando.
don't forget to
And
follow us.
Wonk Dog.
And Wonk Dog. And if you see Wonk Dog, tell him Randall's looking for his ass. Now, have him do
All
a
right.
sign off.
So we're going to have you look at the camera and say, thanks for watching. We'll see you at your next session.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you at your next session.
Yeah.
It's like he's done it before.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. That was rad.
Dude.
Thank
That was
you.
super rad.
See, it's not scary.
Yeah, I was like so over fucking thinking. Yeah, you know what I mean? They're gonna, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, I hope I don't do